Been grooving too.
Lee, you look like you went on your trip. You look like you got had a little Benjamin Button effect. Your little face is all smooth and silky, and you look like a young tender.
But my shoulder is got a design on it from a tan. I
You
had on
got
a
a des-
shirt. I had a shirt that was see through.
mm-hmm.
Uh, like a, what do you call it? Like a
Like the nets.
embroidered type. Yeah, yeah. So
You
the
had on a
whole
fishnet
print,
shirt.
the whole yeah, it was floral though. So the whole print, I got. I put
You got a tattoo.
sunscreen on my arms, but didn't think you need to just put it on your whole body since all your other pieces of skin is showing.
I'm gonna need a picture. I'm gonna need you to
So
inbox a
it
picture.
might be going away. I'm gonna see if it's still there. I was trying to take a
That's
picture of it.
hilarious.
He was like,
You got a little
"It look
message on him.
like a little henna tattoo or something going."
Right, right, right.
Didn't this do this last time?
What
Go
happened?
on and try to fix it.
It said something about a message, something going on with Facebook again.
Because I'm streaming from my phone this time, trying to see something, so I
Okay,
can't see
let's
what
see.
y'all see.
You know how it gave us last time? It gave us that message said Facebook. Sorry, we're having trouble playing this
Hmm.
video. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's doing it again. It's doing it again. I don't remember how we fixed it last time though. Um, Restart your computer.
Mm-mm.
I can't view it. Check the internet connection. Okay,
He
internet
said,
connection.
restart your computer.
That's one of the troubleshooting things. I'm like, we didn't have to do that ever. Internet connection is strong. Then try reconnecting. If your internet connection is slow, then restart. We recommend using the most updated version of Chrome. I got that. I got that.
Hey
Hmm.
everyone, welcome to the show. You know, every time we get on here, we always got a technical glitch that we got to knock out. We appreciate y'all rolling with us, though.
We do. It's raw and in living color.
Y'all remember that show? We used to come on Sundays right around this time.
I miss it.
I miss it with a passion.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, Kim Wayans' glow up is something real. She looks amazing
Does she?
nowadays. Yes.
I heard the Wayans had a new show out.
Oh, really? A show or a movie?
A show,
Oh, yeah.
father and son.
Oh, Damon and his boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I did see a advertisement for that. His
Yeah.
son is doing real well. Definitely picking up what the rest of them was putting down. Damon Jr.
Y'all, I don't know. We might just be on YouTube tonight. I don't see what to do. What to do to fix it? Edit. It
Angel,
don't.
your lip gloss is popping or whatever. Hey,
Thank
lips.
you.
It's only giving the option to
Thank
take it
you.
off. Loves great design. That's my YouTube. That's Angel's Facebook.
Angel on here
We
being
just
all fine.
Fine.
you got to get the people something. We just,
Got to give the people what they want.
Grow.
give them something.
If I deleted it off of Facebook, I can't add it back since we live, can
I have no idea, sir.
I?
I
I need
only
to
run
call.
pre-show time.
I need to call Chick-fil-A and ask them.
You do.
They're the only people that got good customer service around here.
And they closed on Sunday.
And they closed on Sunday.
Because
They are.
holiness is still right.
Mm, mm.
Well, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Today is Sunday, May 19th, 2024. Welcome to the show. Let me tell you, phew, I just got home like an hour ago from Friday. From Friday.
Oh,
Oh,
he done left us. He done up and
now he know I got abandonment issues.
left. I'm sure he will return.
What flavor is your candle?
Hold, please.
Oh man, kicked me out.
You back?
I would think.
It is midnight summers.
Come on, Midnight Summers.
Midnight summers, and it's black and beautiful.
Yes. Hmm.
Smells amazing.
Just like you, Frank. Well, I don't know how you smell, but black and beautiful, just
Amazing.
like you.
Amazing.
Amazing. So you good, Lee?
I don't know what's happening over here. It's live, but I don't think y'all are on this live. I don't think y'all on here because all I see is myself.
What?
Yeah,
Well, I don't
I'm,
see you on the face too.
I'm gonna end that on the face too. It said something about setting up a live show, but I said we already had a live show set here, so
Mm.
yeah.
Well, add
So
us on or
we shall
invite
carry on.
us or something.
But there wouldn't be a
No.
way for you to join it, I don't think. So where we
Oh
all
well.
still all on screen like we normally are. So
Ah. Oh,
mhm.
you went on the stream yard and did something.
Mm, on Facebook in the
Mm.
event, right in the event, it said set up live, which was already set up. But
Mm-mm.
oh well,
Oh well,
We
we
we yeah.
here. We still together.
After
So
all
I was
we've
talking I was
been through.
talking about I just got home an hour ago from Friday. It's been a very plentiful and bountiful weekend. A good weekend. A
have.
weekend full of celebrations, but a sister is tired. I can't move and shake like this like I used to. I'm I'm
Mm.
I'm tapped and tuckered.
And tuckered.
Yes,
Never heard
tapped and
Tired,
that.
tuckered.
tapped, and conquered.
TNT me, baby.
Mm,
Mm, mm,
I
mm.
am, but I
mm,
won't complain. I won't
mm.
complain. Angel, what's good in your world since the last time we saw you? Go ahead and introduce yourself too, and tell us what's been going on in the world since the last time we saw you. It's been about 30 days. Y'all see them
Good
eyes and y'all
evening.
see them lips.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Angel Simmons. I am an author. I am a speaker. Uh, I
Come
am
on,
a
whispers.
She's speaking, and she's speaking.
runway and print model, spoken word artist, mental health advocate, and educator. I'm the author of Love's Great Design, as well as Target of Love,
Hold
which
it
you
up
can
high.
find on Hi. Yes, you can find on my website, angelsimmons.com. You can also find the digital versions on the Amazon if you'd like to venture over there and you want to hear me. You want to hear it or read it or scan it or whatever, as opposed to using paper and turning pages. I
Mm.
am the three piece to the show podcast with the media guru here and our lovely host, Miss Mocha Chip Bryson Williams, and my gentleman of the hour, Mr. LeAnzar Stockley. I'm glad to be here. Always grateful to be in the house with these two geniuses. What's going on in my life right now? A whole lot of work. A whole lot of work. I just ended one after school program for the school year on Wednesday, and I'll be ending a second after school program this coming Friday. We had our final party celebration on Friday for that particular program, and it's very bittersweet right now. Our young people are hiding their grief extremely well, and we
Mm.
are trying to put a band-aid over that with celebrations, cupcakes, and the like. Yesterday was full of celebrations for me. I believe I changed clothes 4 times, left the house 4 times for 4 different events, wore 4 different outfits. I am full of cake, which is why my back is still big. But it is
Mm.
a beautiful back. It's a beautiful back. And I believe it will continue to be thick this summer. And it's all right. It's all right. So that is where I am in this particular season, celebrating big backs across the world.
Come on. Big backs united, baby.
I am still #1 on the Reverb Nation spoken word chart
Yes. Whispers in
in
the
our
dark.
local area. I love to see it pop back up to #1. I have been in the top 10 since I joined many years ago. Um, but #1 is always good to see. So if you like to hear what I got to say, venture on over to Reverb Nation and tickle your fancy if you like.
And I mean, y'all, let me interject. Let her tickle your fancy. You understand me? If you're stressed, or if you're having a hard time sleeping, or if you're trying to get in a particular mood, play it. Just play it. She gonna whisper to you real good.
Whispers in the dark.
She gonna have all the glitz and the glamour. That little long candle back there right now has nothing on the ambiance, the
Mm-mm,
aesthetics that she creates
mm-mm.
when she's whispering these sweet nothings in your ear. She'll get you together now.
Mm-hmm.
I do what I can for the people. I do what I can. If you want to venture over to Instagram, you might see some videos with some whispers in the background. You only gonna get this far, this living room. You don't get this far, but there's some more visual effects for you. You might see some twinkle toes here and there. Um, yeah.
Here we go. Here we go.
And I'll pass the ball over to the gentleman of the hour,
Not
Mr.
right now.
LeAnzar Czar Stockley.
I literally absolutely cannot follow. I can't follow that. We are live on Facebook though. I'm who she said I am.
I am who they. Hey,
I'm who she said I am because I can't steal that thunder. Baby, all that thunder came through. All of it. Just tonight is your night. You going and shine just like that candle back there behind you. Yeah. I wrote a couple books. She might have mentioned them. But I ain't got the voice that she got. I ain't doing no whispers in the dark.
he is all the way done. He can't even.
All
I
the
can't even.
way.
I can't even. I'm still
All
stuck
the
on
way.
it. I'm full of cake. And I'm still stuck on the
All
big
the
back.
way. Well, I guess
So
I did my job.
yeah, I'm stuck with you.
I
I
know
made
that's
some.
right.
I made some rum cake. It
Oh,
was good. It was good.
tell us
Got the
more.
got the recipe when I was in Saint Martin.
Saint
And they
Martin, not
Saint
Saint
Martin,
Martin.
Saint Martin and Saint Martin. Yes.
Saint Martin.
Yeah. Yeah. They have popular for what do you call it? Toppers rum. Toppers rum. So we did a Toppers rum tour and came back with some very nice flavors of rum. One particular was called it's topper. It's banana vanilla
Oh,
cinnamon. And when I tell you, you could drink it by itself.
mm.
Yes. But you can also make
I'm
bananas
imagining
foster and rum
pouring
cake
it over, right? Pouring
and
it over some cake. Yes.
yes, yes, yes. It
Oh,
was amazing.
Angel, you would kill that. Oh my God.
I
I
believe
would
she would.
dead,
I would believe
kill
she
it
would. I
dead.
believe she
You
would.
hear me?
I
She would
co-sign.
kill that with a. Oh, she'd kill that.
I believe it.
Gone,
Ain't no doubt
never
about
to
it.
be seen again.
Ain't no doubt it. Mm-mm.
That's it. Ain't nobody doubt it. On no day.
Ain't no
Yep.
about it.
Yep.
I'm
Mm.
happy to be in the mix with these two geniuses as we do every month. Typically, somewhere towards the end of the month. Depend Their superstar status, so I have to wait and see what their availability is. But we do
Well,
get together once a month. We've been doing so for the past 4 years?
has it been that long?
4 years
Since the pandemic.
since the panorama, right? This is year
What?
4.
We got
Yeah.
longevity? What? We got tenure? What? We got senior? What?
These days.
We established? Do we need to get our since? Well, I was going to say since 1931, but since 2020?
We are legal and bonded.
I feel like that would be cool to pop that up.
What?
Let's venture on over to
Some people
that other
relationships don't last
platform.
4 months.
Say it louder
Okay,
for the people in the back.
okay. Some people relationships don't last 4 weeks. You didn't hear me? Okay, some people relationships don't last 4 days.
Come on, that's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for. You
Huh?
right when you right.
Some people's
You right when
relationships don't last 4 minutes.
Huh?
you right when
Some people's
you right
relationships
when you
don't
right.
even start.
Yeah,
Huh. Empathy.
you right when you right.
Right? I
Because
got
when you
it.
ain't right, you wrong, but you
I
right
know.
right now.
I come on now. Grow. I'm growing.
So, I want you to talk a little bit about your trip and what it means and the
So
outlook and the outcome and all of those things.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you know, so the trip was birthday, but it was also I just added the birthday. Well, my birthday has always been established since I've been here. However, the
it
trip,
has. It has.
yeah,
That's why you're
it's
here.
always kind of
Correct.
been there. Yeah, and it
That's
just
yeah.
so happens that I do the trip, which I call it the friendship retreat or reunion, depending on what we're doing, friendship cruise, whatever case may be. Um, during that during that time, and it happens to be at the same, usually around the same time as my birthday, just because I look at it as a good way to connect, to connect with people and to honor what I believe my heart is all about, which is about relationships and connection and friendships and family and love and all of that kind of stuff or whatever. So the trip, we went to St. Martin and I try to find something natural about it. So, because we have this whole piece of connecting with our nature, and I think that our relationality, I think it's something in us already, right? It's already a natural part of our being that we just need to uncover. So, seeking to do things, and try to get people's minds to kind of set a little bit more intentional focus on a bigger purpose than just, automatic everyday fly by night thing. So we do these trips, retreats, or whatever you want to call them, just to kind of reset our relational consciousness, or
Hmm.
to reconnect with one another or whatever the case may be. And yeah, this one was really good. We went to the first island I've ever wanted to visit in my life. And with all the
Ooh.
traveling I've ever done, it's interesting that I'm just now getting to this one. Will admit the reason that was the first island I ever wanted to visit, because it was the first place that I ever saw had a whole full nude resort. Now that nude resort no longer exists. Um,
Oh,
Mm.
as a hurricane, was it Irma? One of them hurricanes took it out, and they haven't been able to rebuild it. They can't get the permits and things like that to rebuild it. But the people are fighting it because they want to rebuild that place up because it was such a beautiful place, for people to
People
go. But
are fighting for a new resort.
yeah,
they
yeah.
fighting to be naked.
They fighting the beach.
Mm.
Well, so the beach you can still utilize completely nude and all this stuff or whatever. But the resort itself is no longer. They're not allowing them to rebuild that just
Oh, they
yet.
want
I
to
think
walk
they
around
will.
naked in the building.
Yeah, yeah. Dying naked and all of that other stuff. Yeah. And it was a family resort. So
At the
It's a family resort.
it
at
was.
the restaurant?
Yeah. I mean,
Just tatas on the table?
tatas on the table, but your booty's on the towel.
I hope so. I mean that
Just proper nude
oh,
etiquette. But that island
mm,
particularly has three other nude beaches too that are there that we were able to
mm.
kind of. enjoy, you know. But again, that's just also part of nature, just be that piece. And everybody didn't have to participate in that, and everybody did not, you know. But it was a beautiful thing, beautiful place, and we just connected, just hung back, and just enjoyed the time. We stayed in the jungle, like so in the we didn't stay in the tourist area. We went to the tourist area, but we didn't stay in the tourist area. We stayed at the highest peak on the mountain in the jungle. It's called Peak Paradise. So we stayed up there, got to hang out with the monkeys and the big iguanas and some
Thank you
snails.
so much for sending us some monkey footage. I sure
Yeah,
appreciate
didn't I
it.
say I did send y'all the monkey footage, didn't I? Yeah, yeah. So the monkeys was out. Yeah, Vervet monkeys.
Speak,
Yeah, y'all remember Vervet?
speak.
She went to school with Lynette and Trinette. And y'all don't remember Vervet? Okay. Well,
No,
anyway,
no,
movies.
no. But speaking of monkeys being out, I feel like where you went takes a certain level of maturity I have not yet reached
What do you mean?
because I can't imagine. I would not be one to participate, but I can't
Oh,
control my face.
the nude aspect.
Um,
Yeah, because
in
my eyes
regards to,
wander. These four eyes, they be looking all
and
over
I
the place.
I
and I
think
can't
everybody's
imagine
eyes wander.
not being able to congratulate people on their success. Brother, you doing well. Sister, I aspire to have a back as slender as that. I just feel like I would be very celebratory in that environment. You see a couple walk past and it's like, hey girl, you got a good one. I don't know. I don't I don't know. I don't think I'm mature enough
And it's
to be
definitely
in that
for
type of environment.
the mature, because true nude etiquette, you do see people. I mean, nobody, you're not blind, and obviously you know that people are nude, but there's no one that sexualizes it. There's no one that, at least not openly. Actually, you'll get, if there's you'll get shunned for
Yeah.
things like that. Now I have seen it, and so it does require some mature people to go. One of the people that attended with us did go to the nude beach with us, and this was his first time, and he was like, he's almost slept the whole time, but he was like, it was just wonderful being out there to be able to be free, and it wasn't crowded at all, so it was very nice, and you're spaced out enough, to where you don't feel like you're sitting on top of people, but it
I
does
hope not
require
if you
maturity.
no clothes on.
Right, it requires maturity.
I think it requires
'Cause
maturity and also a good foundation, like of because you think about that, like that's deep that you can walk around naked in front of other people. You
talk
know,
about vulnerability.
vulnerability, right? When it's not your person, it's beyond your person, or what,
Hmm.
or close friends, or whatever the case may be. But just to expose yourself literally to the world,
Hmm.
um, and just kind of be in a comfortable space and feel like you're in a safe space. You have to have like a certain type of, to me, strong mental health, strong confidence, a balanced level of vulnerability, just to be able to do that.
Do you know what it takes? I said to some people, was sharing with some folks the other day, I said, a lot of people say, "Oh, you look so comfortable." And I was like,
Hmm.
it's not comfort that you're seeing with me. With most things in my life, it's not comfort. It's courage. It's the
Got to
courage
be.
to it's the courage to not, because there's the and that's one of the things, actually thinking about that, the thing even with nudity, and just that I feel the same resistance that that regular people probably would. I just choose not to live by it.
Hmm.
So it's one of the things, but I have to do that with everything mentally, to believe the way I believe, to think the way that I think, to whatever. I have to kind of, it's not that I'm don't care what society sees and views and thinks things, but I can't live by it. It was prison. And so oftentimes being in that space to be able to be vulnerable like that, and I connect it all. So my physical vulnerability, my physical nudity, or unclothedness, is a reflection for me. And even in the reflection moments there, it's such liberty that I experience, because it also trains me and teaches me how to be that way in life. and how to be that way when I'm afraid to express an emotion or share space with, somebody. So I connect it all. It's actually a spiritual practice for me. And
I,
of course it's taboo. So when people hear it, they're like, oh, you what? And I was like, yeah, but it's actually a spiritual practice. And I don't expect people to understand that unless they're true nudists, because true nudists do get it. But other people, more people are more caught in the shame associated with being naked. Nudity and nakedness is not the same.
I'ma say something
Say something. Say it in that.
because we have
Say it in that.
seen enough. We have seen enough of our friends' silhouettes in his underneath clothing label underneath bazaar.com to know that our friend is well endowed. I don't I don't believe someone who is not on the same level as our friend would be able to sit here and give that speech he just gave about walking around with their junk hanging because it would be a lot less junk to it.
Oh, now he want to be shamed.
So I feel like that's baloney that he's giving me because he got a bunch to
It's a
give the world. But
it's a lot
as
of
a
baloney.
person with, listen, as a
I am
roll,
40 something else now.
rolls, a loaf of bologna has heat. So for
Listen,
some who only has a package of salami, they would not feel as comfortable and spiritually alive, so to speak, as this young 40 something man
That is
who
so
has
not.
stepped into this courage he's talking about.
Do you know how
let
Folks
me
many?
let
with
me
You
nothing
know
to
how many?
hang ain't got that kind of
You know how
courage.
many people we see on that beach that ain't got nothing to hang?
but let me tell you something, Angel. Let me tell
Growers
you
and
something,
shoulders,
Angel. Let me tell you something. His
I'm
baloney,
listening.
his baloney has a first name.
Has a first name?
It's LEANZAR. You hear me?
I heard you,
I can't.
It has a first
and
name.
I agree. I agree. I agree. It
O-
probably responds to his name as well.
Oscar,
Um,
Oscar ain't got nothing on him.
and not a thing. No
Mm,
pun
mm,
intended.
mm, 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 mm,
I'm not,
mm,
I'm not. I'm not picking up that what you put
mm,
there.
mm,
It's
mm.
heavy. You got it. Yeah, it's heavy.
Heavy, heavy.
Usually it's me. It's y'all today.
I stopped eating bologna a long time ago. I'm not going back.
And I
Not
don't
going
eat
back.
it unless it's got the red string around it from down
Oh
south. And you
Now,
my!
put it in the
now,
skillet.
and you putting the skillet
That's the
in it.
only way you. The only place you better put it is in the skillet.
Now,
Now,
Well, courage. Courage. I'm glad we got here. I'm glad we got here. I'm glad we got here. I was going to go in another direction with this topic, but y'all have sent me.
mm,
Y'all have sent me. Y'all have sent me. I'm trying to reel it back in. I'm trying to reel it back in real quick. I'm trying to show my game face right now, but on the
mhm,
inside, I'm tickled.
mhm.
I'm tickled on the inside. But I did want to touch on. I couldn't let the month of May go by without acknowledging Mental Health Awareness Month. Angel, I know this is your jam. Um, and I was thinking about, you know me, I was thinking about so many things that we could talk about. And a lot of times I've said before, like my topics come sometimes at the last minute. Sometimes they resonate throughout the week. It just depends on what's going on with the culture and the world. So, um, oh, sorry, did y'all hear that? I kind of I want to talk about Diddy and mental health.
About that.
because there is no way that you could be all right with publicly, even though there were no people physically standing there. You're in a public space, right? Um, you can't. There's no way that you could be comfortable with assaulting, or there's no way that you could be, I guess, normal. Assaulting someone, kicking someone, dragging someone down the hall. It was really the kicking for me that tripped me out because it's one thing to hit somebody, but when you kick somebody, that's like to the extreme. That's like a dog. It's like an animal.
Mm.
So I know we society for our sometimes for our Caucasian counterparts, when things of this nature happens, society appears to be very quick to label them with some type of mental health something, right? But then, typically when it's people of our culture, they're villains and they're vicious or whatever the case may be, which it could be all wrapped up in the same, who knows? But it has to be some type of mental health, something going on here for you to feel like you can do that, feel like it's okay to do that. Um, and obviously, you have been doing this for quite some time, or more than just Cassie. What do you have you all saw the video?
I caught a glimpse of something the other day. I'm assuming that's the video you're talking about. He was at a hotel and
Right,
chased with a towel wrapped around
where
himself,
he
and
had a towel wrapped around.
yeah, I
What
saw
about you, Angel?
I have refused
that.
on a personal level. I have refused to watch the video. I didn't. There's a point in our society that has gotten to needing receipts for everything, especially in regards to abuse, um, or worse things. Um, I've been training myself to not need that. Um, I don't need to validate somebody's abuse. And I'm not saying that's what people are doing by watching it, but there's a part of me that wanted to see it. Um, but I didn't want to feel like I needed to see it in order to believe
Believe her.
a victim. Yeah. So, even one of the videos that I did for domestic violence uh, awareness month, the ending said, believe victims, report abusers, support survivors. The believing of the victim, even when it comes to racism, even when it comes to um, narcissistic abuse or domestic violence, we've become a culture where we have to see it before we make a decision about the person who did the deed. And I'm trying to remove that need from me. If somebody has been abused, um, okay, you've been abused. That's it. If you are a victim, you are a victim. What kind of support do you need? It was the same thing when what's her face got shot in the feet. You know, uh, I'm talking about. Was that
Mm-hmm.
last year? She got shot in the feet. People wasn't believing it. It's like you had to see the video. You had to see her feet. You needed to see, the bullet holes. Was it bullet holes? Was it fragments? Did he shoot at her feet or did he shoot her feet? It's like God, she got shot. I
Hmm.
don't I I just refuse to watch the video. I refuse to watch his apology that's circulating right now. It's like she's a victim. Period.
He did one.
Today.
An
Oh,
apology video, yes,
okay.
is circular. I don't need to see that. If she's a victim, she's a victim. And I want to leave it at that. So that's a personal choice for me. I'm not needing to see the proof. I don't need to hear the testimony. I don't need to see the police footage. I don't. No. she's a victim. And obviously, there are more victims. I'm sure there's some more that, haven't even come forward yet. She's a victim.
Hmm. Mm, mm.
Lee, your thoughts?
Well, well, something happened. Something went down. I think that when I think about kind of how like you were saying when someone can bring themselves to do a myriad of things. When someone can bring themselves to do some of that we saw in that. All right, so it's obviously something that it just takes my mind to our use, d- meaning humanity's use of a lot of words like trigger, whatever. So somebody he could easily say, "Oh, she triggered me," or something triggered me. Doesn't mean she did nothing, but it's like she triggered me. So then his response was his response, and then now from his response, he creates a victim, and then from whatever these cycles just kind of continue to go round and round and round and round to me. I agree with Angel in some sense of needing to believe people, but I also believe in needing to know if I'm the one that's going to make a judgment, needing to know what happened. You know, because we also have a lot of victims who are saying that they've been victimized by certain things, which again, I think our experiences have been what they've been, but the context for some of these things are very, how can I put it? It's very necessary. Like for me as a mental health professional, one of the things when I'm sitting with people is I want to hear what happened to you and more so what's happening in you because of what you said has happened to you. So to me, it's almost as if I'm not even focusing on the fact of so much on the fact of that you're a victim to something. I want to know what's happening in you as a result of what you're saying has happened in you. And I can believe that because honestly, that's the part that's my business, not the gossip of, well, what'd you do first? Or what did he do? Did he really do that? Or did he really? It's really wanting to know what's going on in you. What's happening in
Mhm,
you because of what you said has happened, or because of what has happened, or because of
mhm,
whatever case may be. But it's also, honestly, and this is just my personal opinion, is not condoning anybody, that also has to be said about Diddy. And so oftentimes it's the same way we do with narcissists. Narcissists get this horrible review, rightfully so, because their behavior is not acceptable. But not many go to what's happening in you that this is even coming out
Mhm.
in this kind of way. And 9 times out of 10, they too at some point was a victim. Victim to what? Victim to this culture we're living in that is not supportive of our overall well-being in the first place. And so now everybody is having to, I don't know if it's either everybody's having to navigate their stuff, but then also for some reason we feel like we're in a position to have to pick a side. And I try not to focus on which side to pick and just to focus on what's happening in us and how do we heal what's happening in us. How do we heal what's going on in us? And again, you run into situations and nuances where some people don't want that help. You know, some of the things that we're putting out to try to help avoid some of these things that go down. Um, I don't know. I don't know how effective it actually is, but I think when people actually have spaces where they can say what's happening in them, we can potentially prevent what they're doing to other people. We can potentially prevent or at least buffer their victimization. Is that the word? Victimization and them victimizing somebody
mhm,
else. And it's like overall, we're in a mess. Is how I see it. We're in a mess, and everybody's either trying to survive or they're coming up with ways to try to survive that look like even haughtiness is a survival mechanism. When you think that you can do stuff like he did to kick somebody
mhm,
and to what is a mechanism. Now again, it's not something at all that should be condoned, not one bit. And there's consequences for responding in that kind of way. You know, But I genuinely believe that, yeah, it's probably things going on in his mind that no one really cares about because of his behavior. So
Mm.
nobody really cares what he's been through because of your behavior. That's the world we live in. We care about the behavior that comes out. We care about it's everywhere. Society's that way, church is that way. Spiritual people in the spirit world is that way. We're concerned about what comes from you, not what's happening in you.
I love the direction you went. Um, I was basically referring to needing to see the footage, um,
Yeah, I
and
get that.
thinking back in reference to this being mental health awareness month. I'm I'm remembering other videos that I have watched over the course of the last 5 years, that I didn't need to see, or I saw it and it affected me so much that I can tell you visually what was in that video even today. For me and for my mental health, visual stimulation is something I have to really watch, because I'm so visual, um, because my imagination does what it does. Um, there's some things that I don't want to allow into my eye gate,
I
so to
get.
speak,
Mm-hmm.
because I will keep reviewing that even long after I've seen it. Um, Thinking back to George Floyd, and forcing myself to watch. I forced myself to watch that thing. Thinking back to some other news reports, I stopped watching the news. Um, Many years ago. And I like cut it back on, during the pandemic because there was so many things happening, and then I shut it back down afterwards. But it's some things that I physically cannot take on, um, watching for certain reasons. I don't know why this just came to my mind, but I remember a video you sent me, LeAnzar. Um, and I can't give all the details, but it was somebody in somebody's church. Um, it was somebody in somebody's church doing something they ain't had no business doing.
Mm.
I cannot tell you the number of times that video has replayed in my mind.
Ah.
Watching
Mm-hmm.
what yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but things like that, it's like stuff is some stuff I don't need to see. Um, which is interesting because last thing I'm doing before I'm going to bed, I'm scrolling, but I'm looking at cats, looking at animals, looking at
Mm-hmm.
food. I'm looking at nature and home remodeling stuff, but some of these things I go down the rabbit hole of the comments. Y'all know because I send it to you. Look at the comments. And I just have to be more protective of my mental health in regards to what I look at. So that's really what I was referencing, in regards
Guarding
to
your
seeing a video. I don't want to see the
hearts and
video.
minds.
I,
Guarding our
yeah,
hearts and minds. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to see the video. I've read stories, but I don't
You
need to
know,
watch that. I don't want to relive it with them.
which makes sense. Which makes sense too. And even if you're talking about the mental health aspect of things, because we do got to guard our ear gate, our eye gate, our mind. We got to guard what's going in because for whatever reason, again, just like if you were to say trauma, it's causing something to happen in you. And here's
Hmm.
my thing with a lot of these things that we're seeing, and even in a situation like that, is it causing us to look at? So even though people will, label it as a mental health issue, is it causing us to really look at it and be converted because of it? Or is it just easy to say, "Oh, he has a mental health issue,"
Mhm.
but
Hmm.
nobody still, it ain't done nothing in here, ain't done nothing for me. It has not been profitable in terms of helping my alignment. Has it made me say, I need to go get my mental health checked
Hmm.
because that could be me? Has it made me say, hmm, maybe I need to learn how to express in a different way? Has it led to conversion? of any type, because again, a lot of things that we see, the commentaries that we see, even the news now is not really the new, like it's more opinion based, more, and we gravitate to it, right? We give it clicks, we give it likes. It's obviously, I guess, what the people want to hear, but sometimes I think it's what the people want to hear because the people's minds, Angel, has not been guarded. So now we need to feed it the details
Mm,
of these things. Working with people in these support groups, sometimes they're telling me things that they're kind of going. Now, some people can look at this two different ways. Some may look at it as being dismissive. I don't personally. I don't process it that way at all. I deeply care about what people are going through. But a lot of times, even when I'm with clients or even with my groups, and they're talking to me, I'm not listening to. Honestly, if I'm honest, even with you all as my friends, when you all are talking to me, I'm not listening to the details of your story. I'm listening to your heart. I'm trying to hear what's happening in you because of what you're telling me has happened to you. Most people will spend 80 to 90% telling you the details of a story and about 2 seconds telling you what's happening in them because of it.
mm,
And so
mhm,
then it becomes gospel that don't have room for gospel. So to me, it's like I don't want to just hear all of the details of what happened. I want to know what's happening in you because I'm not trying to get to know them and all those people that did whatever to my relationship is with you. And so it's what's happening in you because guess what? The other piece of that is that's the only part that can really truly be addressed. What happened yesterday, and I'm not saying there's never a place to tell that and to actually get all of that through, but I want to know, so what did that do for you? What did that do to you? What is that causing in you? What is happening with you? I've said it several times with people that deal with narcissists. I don't really want to hear about the narcissist.
Hmm.
I'm not interested in what the narcissist has done. I'm interested in what are you doing?
mhm,
What's happening in you now because of this particular alignment? And some of that, again, it comes from having dealt with so many people, having deal with those kind of things. It's just kind of like the moment someone has dealt with a narcissist, they become extremely educated on a narcissist, extremely, to the point where you can't tell them nothing, and they're very literally ain't a real word, but y'all get it, very minimally educated on their emotions, other than that they feel something,
mm,
not the processing of how to navigate those emotions, how to grieve that you've gone through this and truly process it, and here we go even further, how to rewire your brain from living in the survival mode of a narcissist. And so to me, I want to know what's happening in you from what has happened. I really truly wonder when I did see the little pieces of a lot of the news these days, I kind of just fly by night. I catch it because somebody sent it to me. That's how I catch most stuff. Um, I did think, like when you were talking, Bryson, when I saw that, it was like, what is going on in his head? That was literally what I thought. No disrespect to her at all,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
didn't even think about her.
yeah,
I really didn't. It was
yeah.
what is going on
Same.
in him to be able to what are you doing, bro? Do you know what I mean? Like that's kind of how and I don't know him very well. I don't follow his whatever very well, but that was the first thing that came to my mind. But honestly, that's what comes to my mind anytime I see abuse.
mm,
Anytime I see it. And I think
Hmm.
some of the reason I see that is because I've been on the verge. I dealt with anger. And so I'd be like, oh, that could have easily been me. It was my mother making a statement when my brother died that said she never would have thought that she would have had to bury a child. But because of my temper, she thought it would have been me that something would have happened to. That was both a "what you mean, woman?" and a wake up call.
Aha. Hmm.
Hmm.
mm,
Yeah, because there was no middle ground. And so when I see people, I could be an abuser if I wasn't in connection with my when I say you want me to be authentic, You want me to be loving. You want me to be. And so, even the advice that I receive from others, I have to be
Mm.
careful with. That's why when I go through certain things, I'm not looking for the friends necessarily that's going to say, you ain't need that hoe no way. You ain't need them no way. I don't need nobody that's going to come and try to harden my heart. If you can't encourage me in being who I am and being in alignment with my sober minded, I don't need to hear what you have to say, because that's not compassion. That's actually judgment.
Look,
That's actually judgment, and you're bringing it to my table. So guarding my heart, Angel, I think like how you're saying, I don't even need to see that, because whatever. I'm that way with, I'm guarding my heart even as I'm hurting with things, because it's like, I can't have you putting in hardness in me. I need to keep my heart flowing the way it was designed to flow. I need to keep my mind flowing the way that it was designed to flow. That's another reason why sometimes I don't want to hear too many details. I want to be I want to be here with you. I want to be here with you I don't want to validate your story, like necessarily validate, because this is I want to be here with you. And the best
mhm,
validation that I can give is not to say, oh, that's horrible that he did that to you. The best
Mhm.
validation I can give is to say, I'm here with you,
mhm, mhm.
but
I feel like God knows the people that need to be in our circle um, at different points in our lives. And I love when they get to stay. Um, my nickname growing up was Angry.
mm,
They ain't call me Angel. They call me Angry.
I
I
knew
got a
it came
couple.
from
I got a
somewhere.
cousin.
First three
I got a
letters.
cousin who called me
What's
Devil
four?
to this day. Still calls me Devil, not Angel. There's a
Mm,
reason. There's a reason for that. There was a lot of anger. There was a lot of frustration. I was always ready to pop
mm,
you, pop somebody. So I feel that. Um, I was very much connecting to that story. She thought it would have been you. Yeah, if anybody would have, it would have been me. It would have been me. And that's one reason why I dive into relationship relationality topics so much, because I'm always trying to figure out where I am in it. Um,
mm,
I
mhm,
talk a lot,
mhm.
I say a lot, I do a lot. At the end of the day, am I walking this, or am I just teaching this?
Mhm.
That's
That part.
very important to
That part.
me.
That part.
And what's been most eye opening is that I walk it in most spaces. But there are some spaces that I'm always struggling with it. And it's always, particular relationships, I'm always struggling with this topic. Like if those particular people, were watching these things and reading these things and seeing these things that I'm doing, they probably be like, what? um, you you said, yeah, I did. I did. And that don't apply to you. It's always somebody it don't apply to, because I can't I always got this, it keeps you humble in your work.
Mhm.
It truly does, because I know I'm still challenged here, and here. Everything else is great, but this 25%, these shows are for me. You know,
Mm.
I might be a genius, but I'm not an expert. I'm still learning, still growing, still moving, because I still got these holes over here that I'm holes. Still got these holes over here. We have
Clarify.
to specialize, y'all, right? That I am working to fill and working to smooth over and working to repave. Um, because at any minute, I can go back to angry. I can go
Mm,
back to devil. I can
mm,
go back to Shiver. You
mhm,
don't want to
mm.
meet Shiver. I refer to her as her. You don't want to see her. I know her. There's very few people that still remember her, but for those who know her, she ain't
Mm.
nice.
Mm.
She don't care nothing about what you think, feel, say. She. But for those that are very familiar with her, I feel sorry for them seeing me out in public and knowing her in private because it's not pretty.
Mm,
It's not
mm,
pretty. So even when we talk, and I love that you mentioned, yeah, people who've been abused by a narcissist. Oh, we learn everything. We learn everything. However, I am so fortunate that I had people around me who were in mental health to the point that even when I wrote the book, this one, even when I wrote the book, I went clinical.
mm,
Let's talk about the clinical aspect. Let's talk about the mental health aspect. Let's talk about the signs and symptoms. Let's talk about this as a personality disorder versus somebody that ain't gonna never change, gonna abuse everybody they ever meet, and this is just who they are. I talk about it from a spiritual perspective because everybody can be helped, saved, changed if they want to be, if
Hmm.
they step into that, versus this is a never ending cycle of abuse. That hurt to do, having dealt with narcissism and dealt with narcissists and dealt with abusers. That hurt to do, to even put that out there and say, I know you've been abused, but it might not be as bad as you was taught
mm,
to believe. Or this is, a mental health uh, condition because this is
issue.
a personality disorder. This is in the DSM-5. This is, and folks are like,
Mhm,
are you on my side or not on my side? I'm not picking the side. I'm just telling the truth.
mhm. Yeah. Which is important as to why I always say people shouldn't be using some of these words as just buzzwords. And now when you think about most conversations, almost any relationship that didn't go right, it was a narcissist.
Uh,
Number one,
I was
oh
like
my
the
number.
gosh.
math ain't math. Like it's and so it is important that highlight be there. That highlight that narcissistic personality disorder is a true mental health disorder. So just calling everybody, but again, like we said, a few years ago, everybody was bipolar. A few years before that,
Uh,
everybody was ADHD, and the
uh,
next one that's going to come up is probably going to be histrionic disorder. It's like
hmm,
there's we see a person has two or three, even all symptoms of narcissism. If we really understood how mental health disorders are diagnosed, we would not be throwing them out there like that. All right,
no,
there's criteria. Even if you have all the traits, does not mean that you're a narcissist. So we have the thing with it for me is, and the diagnosing from mental disorders and different things like that is just right now it's still it's better, but it's still very fairly poor in how these things are actually come about. And so this is why, to some degree, and you'll find some therapists that don't even deal with what the label is this person is dealing with. We deal with the behaviors, we deal with what's happening in you, what's going on in you, and let's address that. Let's address these things that are going on in you, because we in our society we pathologize everything. And anytime there's a pathology, there's also going to be a stigma. There's also going to be, now, like you said, things are in our mind, and I can't unsee this, and I see this a certain kind of way. The Like you said, anybody that wants to be helped, generally there's some help for it. There's ideas that people that deal with narcissism, they can't be helped. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. Now, the probability of them actually going to actually seek that help, yeah, now
it's
we
low
talking,
than a buck,
is very low. It's very low because they don't even really,
but it's
yeah,
not impossible.
but it's not impossible. And I think that's just some, but and in some sense, and hopefully it's also kind of not, it's not impossible, and to some degree whatever label we calling it is not important. What's important is what's happening in us. I say it all the time, and I'm gonna probably say it to till we all blue in the face. what's happening in us. We got to address what's going on in us. What situation? And this is bigger than Diddy, bigger
Mm,
than any narcissist any of us have ever dealt with, any mental disorder that anybody has ever dealt with. Any, it's bigger than any of that. Um, and some of us just don't really want the truth as to how we really heal this, because we have been so trained to be in survival mode that we don't care what healing looks like. We don't really care what
Mm.
thriving looks like, because we just looking into survival. We just trying to survive, which makes sense why we feel that way, which makes sense why we're that way. But really, living in the survival mode, and I'm just trying to survive, can really lead to a huge lack of hope. And but we won't name it as hope, Bryson. We won't as a loss of hope. We name it as I'm just trying to get through this. I'm in a dog eat dog world. And
mhm,
so I got to when in Rome, become as the Romans. And all the while, you are ruining your heart. All the
mhm.
while, you are now
And other
not
people.
guarding you and other people. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Could it be that someone like what Bryson's talking about in this video took on this mentality that I got to make it? And now this idea, and then I got to be on top. And why I'm really hitting you is not because of anything that you did that's not even reasonable. I'm hitting you because I ain't dealt with inside me. I haven't dealt with what's happening in me. I haven't dealt with the fact that I had to survive some stuff.
Mm.
That's why I do the whole the gentleman's edition, men's mental health check-in. It's like just trying to, as best as we can, provide as much space for people to that want to. Because like you said, Angel, if people don't want
You
to,
gotta work.
what these conversations that we have, sometimes they're exhausting because we're having the conversation, but is it making a difference?
Right.
It,
Yeah.
is it making us say, yeah, I want to do my relationships better? Or do I just say, man, vulnerability is hard, and we stay
What you say?
there?
Is there
As
is there a conversion?
there has to be something that
Mm.
says, I need, yeah, as a result of this conversation, I want to have an active reach. My active reach now is that although it's difficult what we've been talking about, I'm making the active reach for it, because when I process this whole thing, it's the only way. Love actually is the only way to live fully, truly well in mental, emotional, spiritual wellness. Now, I can live in spiritual, emotional, mental delusion, spiritual, emotional, mental survival, but to live in spiritual, emotional, mental, relational wellness, I gotta walk according to design.
And I love when a good thing comes together. Where am I? Let me get back in the screen because I was
You was all over. You was ready to.
listen. I was listening so hard, right? You see, I was like, what? But when a good thing comes together, because the conversion, and to go back to what you said earlier in the very beginning, courage. It takes courage for the conversion, right? It takes courage for the vulnerability to lead to the conversion. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, and it just takes courage to actively deal with or face or look into your mental health. Period. Especially as a
Yes.
culture, especially as a person, and I think especially for me, when she was dropping them one, she laid it down. She laid it down, and especially for men, going back to your gentleman's addition, courage, courage, because society makes us feel that we are less than, or not society, our home, our family. Well, ain't nothing wrong with you. You're all right. We don't need that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
it takes courage to face, the inner struggles, to confront, past traumas, to actively engage in the therapeutic process. It takes courage,
Yep.
and If you want to have the same type of courage that they had on the Wizard of Oz, get that courage. But it
Come
is
on now.
needed. It's courage. Courage itself is a mental state, right?
Yeah.
It's it's
Actually, it
it's
is
a
a state. Yeah.
it's a mental state, right? Um, so just kind of honing in and zooming in on that. Courage is, I guess, pulled from or created by intellectual and spiritual feelings, things, emotions that are in your body. Because it's just like when you being the hype man, hyping somebody up, right? Hyping them
Hmm.
up, hyping them up. You can do it. Come on, you got this. Let's go. Yeah, 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 yeah. All the things, right? You're a hype man. Be your own hype man. That's really courage. That's really courage. When you blend the emotional, when you blend the intellectual and the spiritual entities, that's courage.
And stand in that.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. To truly speak the mind of your core, to truly speak the mind of your heart, to truly speak the courage comes from the word core, COR,
Hmm.
which means to speak the mind of the heart.
I
It's like
love when you. I love
so
when you
it's
be my little Encyclopedia Britannica. I love when you do that. Come on, core.
you know it's like so it's all of what you're saying, like it's tapping into the core of you, the essence of you, and speaking, living, being that.
Mm.
You weren't given the spirit of fear, you were given the spirit of courage.
Hmm.
But we got to tap it, which also requires you to think of another consciousness. If we go just based off of what society says and how we've been trained in society, you're not going to do it.
Right.
You're not going to be it, or you're not going to enter into that, man, that reality of living. And again, it's I think that it's a just everything to me leads back to being authentically who we are, you know. So
No, I totally agree. And if you could find it, if we can find it, within ourselves to encourage, ourselves, just to move forward, to make those next steps, you have to be comfortable with finding the problems within you, or
yeah.
finding the parts of you that need help, that need bettering, right? I had somebody tell me a couple of weeks ago, because like you, Angel, we've been doing these shows for a minute now. We've been doing the shows, and then just even in our daily living and our 9 to 5 trades, where we are, practicing a lot of this, or we have to practice a lot of this, or share a lot of this. It's like, yo, are you doing it yourself? You good with telling a good story. You good with putting a good little show together, and making sure. But are we doing it ourselves? And I had to
Mm,
take a hard look at myself, a few years ago. Like, hey,
mm,
you're not gonna be the one, that's on here practicing this, that, and the third, and you're not doing it right.
mm, mm.
That
Mhm.
takes courage. That takes vulnerability, and I was able to do it. And
It
I try to show that daily in my journey. So much so that somebody asked me, I heard, so apparently I hurt somebody's feelings, right? And I was told I hurt their feelings. And I think it was just a misunderstanding because you couldn't have your way. But just because
mm,
you couldn't have your way didn't mean I hurt your feelings. But nevertheless,
mm,
nevertheless, they came back at me, with a dagger, saying, you know, you're a person that preaches accountability and you demonstrating accountability. So why was it so easy for you to do this towards me?
mm,
And I was just kind of like, I have no problem being accountable for the good and the bad parts of me. Um, however, just because I choose to face accountability doesn't mean I won't make mistakes, right?
mhm,
And I think that, people will oftentimes, get caught up in the things that you demonstrate and kind of put you up here. versus
Mm,
keeping you right here with the regular
mm,
folks, with the common folks, because I'm just a
mhm.
common person, right? Um, but it was hard for you to see where you were lacking, and I'm like, okay, uh, extend some grace, even to those who are preaching or demonstrating these type of things, um, because it doesn't mean that mistakes won't occur.
Absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't mean that all faults are gone for forever.
Hmm.
Um, so be kind in that and encourage the courage, with one another.
Yep. I like that too. Encourage the courage.
Yeah.
D- because
Look, I'm
that's what
still
we.
gonna show some grace.
That's.
Yeah, boy.
But that's all it is, Bryson. I think is we have to be better at learning to just all we're doing. I can't think of the guy. Was it Ram Das that made this quote? That said this quote. All we're really doing is we're walking each other home.
Yeah, I just read that the other day, this morning, yesterday, very recently,
Yeah.
like within the past 48
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah,
I
I
just
just
We
read
talked
about
about
that.
that the last show or
Yeah.
one
yeah,
before. You mentioned it. Yeah.
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 And so that I love that just that whole encourage people's courage because and again it says, hey, remind me of who I am. Remind me of who I am. We do get thrown off because we do expect perfection. Oh, Bryce, you got a whole show that you do and blah 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 blah. Nobody here has ever said. See, we're married to this idea of perfection as in error free. The
Mm,
perfection we need to be striving for. The one of the definitions for the word perfection is without error, flawless, blah blah blah. That ain't none of us. We ain't gonna ever be that as long as we're in this human form.
sure.
So the perfection that exists even when Jesus said be ye perfect just as I am perfect or be ye holy as I am holy, that means mature. So if you are made a mistake and whatever and somebody says, oh, why is it hard for you to be, oh, thank you for pointing it out, if that's really what's going on too, because some folks be like you said, they be meddling in the M&M jar, but
Hmm.
and it's like all of a sudden you done something to them, and it's like, no, that's not what was going down. That's not
Right.
what was happening. So it's like
Right.
everybody has to take that accountability. But that has always been my biggest fear, believe it or not, is doing the work that I do,
Oh,
whether it was ministry, whether it was the counseling and the relationality work and all those other things, which is all still ministry to me. Ain't you supposed to be?
Hmm.
You supposed to whatever. And it's like,
Hmm.
oh, so you're not saying are you not practicing what you preach? What you're saying is you ain't perfect. You're supposed to be
that's what
perfect
it is.
before you get it. That's people ain't gonna say that. No, I know nobody's no, but that's how you treat us. That's how you
And
treat the
really,
people in your life.
it's not even you got to be perfect. It's you got to be what I say, or you have to be what I want you to be at that
Ooh,
time, because that might not be perfect at all. I don't remember.
ooh.
I don't remember where I was watching this or who was saying this, but this video I saw recently. Um, at the end of every day, there was a gentleman talking at the end of every day before he goes to bed. The reflection is, um, if this was my last day here, am I satisfied?
Mm,
Am I satisfied with the work I've done, with the things I've done, with the relationships I have touched? Am I satisfied if this was my last day and I was not going to be here tomorrow? Am I satisfied with the outcome of the day? And there was something else that I read recently. That said, if I died tomorrow, am I okay with the last thing I said to you? And based on our lives, the last thing I said to you could have been I love you, could have been talk to you soon, could have been you need to talk to HR, could have been get out of my face, um, could have been I ain't coming, or it could be I'm always here. I'm always here. And
Hmm.
we say so many different things to different people in different spaces at different times of the same day. Because I promise you, that could have been said on the same day to so many different people. At the end of the day, are you satisfied with what you have put out in the world?
Mm-hmm.
Most of us don't take that time to reflect about it.
Mm-hmm.
It
Even though
could have
we don't
been.
take for granted, we might not take for granted that we're going to be here tomorrow, but it's kind of an assumption that we're going to wake up and go to work and do the things that are on our agenda. But if there was no agenda tomorrow,
If
did
tomorrow
I give
wasn't on
enough?
the agenda.
Did I give enough for
Right.
today?
Right.
And if I had
Right.
to answer or be accountable for the things that happen, um, am I cool with that?
Mm,
Most of us uh, would have to take a second to think, especially that you need to talk to HR, or I ain't coming. I ain't
mm,
coming. I'm not. Nah, I ain't feeling that today. Um, are we gonna wake up wishing we had been there,
mm.
or was today enough for you? I think that changes our idea of accountability, and it changes our ideas of perfectionism when we take that time
Hopefully,
to reflect. Yeah, hopefully, yes. Hopefully,
hopefully.
there's some conversion in your thought process
Mm-hmm.
as you reflect on the day and what you gave out to the world. Was it enough? What was the last thing I said to somebody? Because
Hmm.
that's the last thing they're going to remember. If you're not here tomorrow, the last thing I said to you is what people are going to remember.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to be accountable for those words, would you eat them or grow from them?
Mm. What if your last words was bleach blonde bad oh, sorry. Made a little watch between me and thee. Wow.
Because before it was that, it was, maybe I think your eyelashes too big. You can't see through your eyelashes. That's what prompted the statement. And she ended up calling victim, right? Let's strike that from the record. Strike that from the record. You just told this lady your eyelashes was in the way. And then when she matched your energy, you a victim.
Well,
All victims ain't victims. You said that. She just matched your energy. Well, she matched it well. Somebody say when they go low, we go low.
When in Congress.
That was not the quote. That is where we had taken it.
and that's that on that, boys and girls. Thank y'all for coming to the show. We appreciate every last one of you all. We appreciate the folks that have chimed in. We appreciate
Oh
the
my God.
insight from our two geniuses and the foolishness that goes along with it. Join us. Join us next month. But we will do this all over again because we are
Oh.
gluttons for punishment with one another. Yes.
It's a very good way to say that.
If you want to check out Angel's goodness, check her out at angelsimmons.com. If you want to check out our gentleman, check him out at LeAnzarStockley.com. They got some knowledge in these books that they have. Go check them out.
Mm.
Um, Follow them. Their handles are on the screen. If you feel like it, follow me too. But stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Make sure you encourage the courage. Make sure you act in the
I love
purpose on purpose.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
We good.
Mm-hmm.
Mental health. If you need some help, don't be shame. Don't be shame
Please
at
don't.
all.
Reach out.
If you
Please
feel
Reach
like you've
out.
had enough, call 988. If you feel like you've had enough and you want to hear one of us up, do that. It's no judgment.
Yeah.
It's all love, okay?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You deal with it's that thing. You deal with your mental health so that you don't have to deal with mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
988. Peace, y'all. It's summertime, yo. Summertime. Y'all better go outside and do something. Everything's opening up. Millennium Park, Pier 31, all these
Grant
things
Park
is happening.
New
Grant Park,
beaches.
Meigs
Go
Field,
find you a new beach.
the Rosemont Horizon,
always open.
all these things. Go see. Okay, you want
Encourage
one
the
booty cheek
courage.
out while you do it? Do it. Encourage the courage. I'm trying to encourage your courage. You want one booty cheek out? You want to be a nudist? You go do it, okay? But you do it well.
Make
You
sure
keep
you
your
go
eyes
to
up here.
underneath
Keep your eyes up here.
Bazaar first.
First.
So you have something
Underneath
to take off.
Bazaar. So you have something to take off.
So you have something to take off.
Hmm.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
God bless you. Good night. Encourage the courage.
Encourage the courage.